What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got that corrupt New York Attorney General Tish James surrounded by even more legal trouble, facing some brand new charges after new evidence just surfaced, revealing that she's been harboring a criminal fugitive inside of that Virginia mortgage fraud property, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
There's a new twist in the mortgage fraud case against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Now, as you know, prosecutors accused James of lying on loan documents, claiming her Virginia home would be a second residence, but instead using it as an investment property.
Yeah, so now investigators say the person believed to actually live there is reportedly a fugitive in another state. Newsmax crime correspondent Jason Matera has very latest on this developing story. Jason, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, Mark and Charlotte. Well, you can't make this stuff up. So the person living in Tish James's Norfolk, Virginia residence is apparently her grandniece, a woman by the name of Nakia Thompson. And well, Ms. Thompson has quite the rap sheet. Back in 2011, Nakia was arrested in North Carolina on assault and battery and second-degree trespassing charges. But according to court records, she skipped out on the terms of her probation. A spokesman for the North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections tells Newsmax that the 36-year-old is an absconder for willfully avoiding supervision by her probation or parole officer, adding that she faces arrest if found in North Carolina, which could trigger the activation of her suspended sentence, meaning that probation she violated could quickly turn into real jail time if she sets foot back in the state. Yet that's not her only run-in with the law. Thompson's criminal history crosses into Virginia as well, including charges for conspiracy to commit larceny, grand larceny, drugs, and possession of burglary tools. We spoke with a neighbor who says that he's lived next to Nakia Thompson for several years now at the Norfolk residence. He told us he's never once seen Letitia James at that house. And that's the legal problem the New York Attorney General finds herself in today, since federal prosecutors allege James committed bank fraud and made false statements to a financial institution by calling the property in question a second home instead of an investment in order to secure a better loan rate. So, Mark Shaw, just to recap, you have New York's top law enforcement officer, by all indications, harboring a fugitive from another state in a home that the Justice Department says was purchased via mortgage fraud. So, like I said,
no one's above the law, Jason.
Oh,
no one's above the law.
Yeah, her words. All right.
All right, folks. So it looks like we can add harboring a criminal fugitive to that long rap sheet of that corrupt New York Attorney General Tish James. I just don't know where this corruption stopped for her and her family. Also run across this New York Post headline that reads, Letitia James is also housing a criminal OnlyFans model relative at her other Virginia property. And this is another property that was lumped into that federal investigation and indictment. So let's pop on over to this New York Post article and see what's going on exactly. It says New York Attorney General Letitia James is housing a second criminal family member at her Virginia property. And it's been revealed now that she and her big sisters were partners in crime in this whole grand scheme of things. So apparently, James's grandniece, Kayla Thompson Harrison, a 21-year-old who is an OnlyFans star with a public X-rated social media presence, was charged back in April of 2024 with lying about her felony criminal record when she tried to purchase a firearm in Suffolk, Virginia. So Kayla was legally disqualified from owning a firearm due to an August 2020 felony charge of malicious wounding, which Virginia law defines as a crime in which a person shoots, stabs, cuts, or wounds any other person, or by any means causes bodily harm, injury, with intent to maim, disfigure, disable, or end. Okay, a lot going on there. And it says that Thompson Harrison was a juvenile at the time of this arrest and charging, so the records of this case remain sealed. And I want to pop over to this diagram that I found, and it kind of breaks it down a little better. All right, folks, and I'm going to try to break this one down as simple as possible, because I know this whole story can get twisted up very easily. So we see there's two different properties. These are both properties in Virginia, purchased by Letitia James, one in 2020, one in 2023. So who resides in the two properties? We see it right here below. So it looks like Nakia Thompson is the oldest daughter that lives in this property alone. This was bought back in 2020. And then we've got Shamise Thompson, which is the mother of all three of these ladies, Kayla Hairston, Courtney Hairston, and Nakia Thompson. And it looks like the only ones that live with her in that home that was purchased back in 2023 while prosecuting President Donald Trump is Kayla and Courtney Hairston, the two younger daughters. Okay, so we got this pretty clear. This is the home that James claimed was going to be her primary residence while trying to prosecute President Donald Trump, which we all know is not possible. If you're the prosecuting its New York Attorney General, you have to live and reside in that state. Oh, okay, so we're getting this all sorted out. And by the way, Nakia Thompson is the one who is the criminal fugitive on the run from North Carolina for her criminal assault and trespassing charges, while Kayla Hairston is the one who is the adult star. Okay, so two of the three daughters are career criminals in my book. And this is not Kayla's first run-in with the law or Nakia's first run-in with the law. As we see, Nakia Thompson and Kayla Hairston were both busted back in 2019, August of 2019, for an alleged theft scheme at a Macy's and Dillard's. Okay, and I actually found this criminal arrest record report for Kayla Hairston and Nakia Thompson. I just want to pull it up and show you guys exactly who we're talking about. So this is the youngest daughter on the left, the oldest daughter on the right. And we can see that Nakia ended up being charged with 7 different charges. One, possession of burglary tools, larceny, grand larceny, contribution to delinquency, and abuse of a child, because again, Kayla was a minor at the time of these crimes, and then she got hit with that, looks like 3 times. And then the 7th charge is conspiracy to commit larceny. And then on the other hand, we have Kayla, who was a minor at the time. I believe she was 15 years old at the time of this shoplifting spree, with 3 different charges, one of grand larceny, the weapons charge. This one came later on in her life when she tried to purchase that firearm as a felon, and one last charge, an attempted weapons charge. It also goes along with the false statement on a weapons form where she tried to purchase that firearm as a felon. And I wanted to give you guys a better view of the person that we're speaking about. This is Kayla right here. You can see her flashing money from OnlyFans in the strip club. And the reason why I say this is OnlyFans in the strip club is because you can see that this brand is flashing solely $1 bills. Okay, so looks like Tish James's entire family, she's got a criminal enterprise that she's running behind the scenes. And I actually found this clip of the Daily Caller making a stop by both of those Virginia properties, and we could see that neither parties want anything to do with speaking out or reporting what's going on in this property.
Hi there. I'm a reporter with the Daily Caller News Foundation.
Goodbye. You're trespassing.
I'm sorry.
Trespassing. My kids are out here.
I understand. We mean no trouble. We're just curious who the occupants of the home are,
Don't
because
worry
there's
about who's occupants. That's none of your business.
well there are connections to
Okay, but
New
you're
York Attorney
trespassing.
General Letitia
That doesn't
James.
matter. You're trespassing.
Are you related to
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
Do you know her?
You're trespassing. Go in the house.
Do you know
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
No? Okay.
You're trespassing.
No comment. Thank you,
Don't
ma'am.
come up to my house no more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one.
It's gonna be problem.
Be well.
All you want.
Be well. Car sound.
There's a car parked in the driveway.
Hello there, ma'am.
No comment, you're trespassing.
No comment?
Yeah, you're trespassing.
Okay, well, who lives here?
You're trespassing.
Who lives here, ma'am?
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
So we can see that there wasn't much conversation to be had when visiting both of those Virginia properties of Tish James. They don't want to talk much, but on the other hand, we got Big Tish willing to come out and spill it all, that she just absolutely went insane on a national television over her indictment. I want you guys to take a look at this one.
I would say what she said. But first of all, the decision was based on the Administrative Procedure Act, an arbitrary and capricious act by this agency, and an unlawful act. And so too is the indictment. It's baseless. It's nothing more than retribution. Retribution for basically doing my job. For doing my job following a 2-year investigation and a congressional hearing. It wasn't political. It was based on facts and the application of the evidence. And the judgment was sustained. The amount of the disgorgement was what was dismissed. But the judgment remains. And so at this point in time, we will vigorously defend those charges, those baseless charges. My arraignment, as you know, is next Friday. I visit Norfolk quite frequently. My family is in Norfolk. I love my family. And I will defend these charges. And I want everyone to know that it is completely baseless and I am totally innocent. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So once again, Big Tish is sticking to her guns in that same old script to say that this is all baseless and another act of political retribution. I don't know, you guys. I'm not sure that that's going to hold up in the court of law, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see at her arraignment later on this week. But I believe that New York deserves better. We've seen enough of that corrupt New York Attorney General and her scandals and schemes. It's time to move forward. And speaking of move forward, we've got her replacement, Michael Henry, coming out and speaking on national television, saying what goes around comes around, Big Tish, and it's your time.
New York City Republicans throwing their full support behind Michael Henry as he challenges Letitia James to be the next Attorney General. Michael Henry joins me now, sitting right next to me. Here he is. Michael, is Letitia James vulnerable because she's being indicted, or is she gaining ground because she's so vigorously anti-Trump? Which is it?
No, she's vulnerable. I mean, look, in 2022 when we ran, we received 46% of the vote, and the climate of the state has changed. Upstate, there's been a lot of economic decay. They fired 3,000 correctional officers. Nobody even knew the term trade de agua in 2022, so you had the migrant crisis on top of all this. And I think what's happened here with Letitia James is she's somebody that's gone around just in 2022 alone, she went after the President of the United States, she went after Andrew Cuomo, and she went after Nikki Haley in the same election cycle. So she's somebody that's literally run around punching people in the face, and someone's finally gone back after her, and she thought she was going to be able to play this victim card. And what we're seeing is people are saying, you know what, she's been doing this for 30 years in politics, and it's just basically her having to deal with what she's done with everybody else.
If you're elected, can you reestablish the decent reputation of New York's judiciary? Because I think it's been slammed by Letitia James.
In the state, most of the judges at the Supreme Court level obviously run for office. When it comes to the appellate courts, that goes through the governor's office. But what I can do is make this a professional office, because there's over 700 attorneys now. It used to be 650, and bureau chiefs and deputy bureau chiefs throughout the regional offices in this state. And what I have the discretion to do as the Attorney General is to remove those individuals that are not. To me, this office is simple. You're the people's attorney. You're not the Democrat Party's Democrat National Committee's enforcer. And what you do is you put bureau chiefs and deputy bureau chiefs in to oversee industries that they understand. You work in conjunction with local and federal law enforcement, and you make sure that people check their politics at the door and they follow the rule of law. And in my administration, we're going to have a competency test. And if you can't work in this office, streamline it, and make it efficient, you're not going to have a position in this office.
Competency test.
Correct.
Not a political test.
No, a competency test. Because
Okay.
Letitia James wakes up every day focused on three things: weaponizing the office against political opponents, attacking the President of the United States, and ignoring the issues that matter most to hardworking families in this state. And my administration is going to be a professional administration where we work in the best interest of the people of the state of New York.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Talk about the legal and family drama continuing to boil over for old Tish James. It seems like her legal trouble just never seems to end. And this is exactly what happens when you're living inside of that glass house and attempting to throw stones at other folks. Don't be surprised when they come crashing down through your glass house. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here. Tish James thought that she was above the law. She was invincible, and there was some sort of two-tiered system of justice. She's quickly finding out that as quickly as you dish out that stuff, as quickly as it'll come back and bite you. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Tish James, usually I'll say I feel a little bad. A little bit of sympathy for folks that have gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble, a little mischief, and they were non-deserving of the punishment that's coming out. No, Tish James, she has dished out so much crap to folks that were non-deserving of the charges of prosecution. It's about time that she's finally held accountable for things that she's actually done. All the illegal crime, the schemes and the scandals that Tish James has been doing behind the scenes. She thought no one would ever find out. She thought she swept all this underneath the rug, hid all those those skeletons in their closet and no one was ever going to come searching. But guess what? President Trump got in office and he sent a couple folks to go sniff out some things and figure out, and it didn't even take for the Trump administration to, get to the bottom of it. It actually came down to an independent fraud investigator in Sam E. Antar doing a little sniffing and digging of his own and quickly finding out that, hey, there is a gift wrap prosecution for the DOJ. I'm going to serve this up on a platter. Letitia James deserved that grand jury indictment, and I can't wait to see what the outcome is at her arraignment later on this week, guys. We'll continue to follow any updates to come right here with your boy RetroStef, guys, but definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open. Now I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.